Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio. So today, we're going to be taking a look at a lot of new secret rare cards. How many new secret rare cards? 53 new secret rare cards. And shout out to the lovely Primal Lugia over on PokeGuardian.com for helping us out getting images of all the cards. Lovely person, very helpful, great website. So we did see the other day the alternate art versions of Dedenne and Eevee, so we're not going to spend a huge amount of time talking about them. We've already done so. Dedenne is a cornerstone in a lot of decks. It's very cool, but we've talked about that. Eevee is very cool. We actually already had 3 different prints of Eevee. Well, now we've got the alternate art, which we had previously talked about. And now we're getting a full art and a rainbow rare. And of course, what's really kind of interesting about this is that the full art and rainbow rare are actually a different design than any of the Eevee cards we'd previously seen. Now, we're also getting full art and rainbow rare versions of the new Wishy-Washy. I love the new Wishy-Washy. It doesn't look very good, but if you combine it with a whole bunch of other Wishy-Washy, especially the one from Dragon Majesty, it gets pretty gosh darn good, pretty gosh darn quickly. Now, we're also getting full art and rainbow rare versions of Weavile. Weavile, great card, lets you move your darkness energy all around the board. Absolutely vital in any darkness deck. We're a fan. And we're getting full art and rainbow rare versions of Melmetal GX. Now, for anyone wondering, essentially what's going on here is these are GXs that weren't in main sets proper. They were added in, or they were promos or whatever, so they never got the regular full art rainbow rare that you usually get. So essentially this is a bit of a mop-up set that's doing so. Speaking of which, full art and rainbow rare versions of Jirachi GX, a phenomenal card that removes weakness from all of your psychic Pokemon, an absolute must play in Mewtwo and Mew decks. And yeah, it's turned off by Power Plant, but nobody really seems to care. To be honest, it still sees a huge amount of play because it's great and not enough people are playing Power Plant. And there are a bunch of Tag Team GXs as well, and they are getting full arts and rainbow rares and secret rare prints, i.e. the alternate art prints. So we can start off having a little bit of a look at the baby trio. Yay! Now, some of these, like the baby trio, are in fact in the set proper, whereas others are promos that we just need to have the extra rarities to bring them up. The baby trio is a fun card that was revealed at Worlds. It's not going to end up being terribly playable, but if you can get enough energy on there, by which I mean 16 energy, you get to shuffle all of your opponent's bench Pokemon and all cards attached to them into their deck, which is kind of cool. Also, we've got Dusknoir and Trevenant, which is a, well, that was a promo. Dusknoir and Trevenant we like as a bit of a hand disruption card. 150 for free energy, and your opponent shuffles 2 random cards from their hand into their deck. That's kind of a lot of fun. And of course, we've got the full art, rainbow rare, and secret rare versions of them as well. Espeon and Deoxys is a card which sees a lot of play in Mewtwo and Mew decks. We love the GX attack that can place 10 damage counters, or 20 if you've got 6 energy on. Great for taking out low HP Pokemon. It sees a lot of play. These rarities are going to see a fair amount of play. And we've also got Umbreon and Darkrai. Now, Umbreon and Darkrai we like a lot. The problem is, it's not seeing a huge amount of play. It's pretty vital in these darkness, dark box decks, but they've just not proven to be hideously popular. Hey ho, ladies and gentlemen, you can't have it all. Now, possibly the most exciting thing that's actually happening is that we are getting gold GXs. Tag teams. There are 7 of them coming, And they're actually pretty much cards are already out. But yeah, they're well, some of them are phenomenal, some of them are alright. So some of the less exciting ones, Greninja and Zoroark is getting a gold version. Now do remember, we've had some gold cards in the past, like Gold Solgaleo for instance, and these cards keep a lot of value. Like seriously, they're expensive cards. So Zoroark and Greninja and Zoroark, it's fine. It sees play in Expanded quite a bit. It does lots of damage if you've got lots of darkness energy on the field. Now, we're also getting Lucario and Melmetal, which to be fair, just did win the big 1,600 person tournament over in Japan. It's just a pretty good card, and it reduces damage done to you with its GX attack. It's quite nice. It's not phenomenal, but then again, it just won a 1,600 person tournament in Japan, so maybe it is. And then we're also getting a gold version of the Free Birds Tag Team GX. Now, this is a card I've not been a huge fan of. I think it's largely underwhelming, but then again, there's enough people out there that do think it's quite good and have made it work, so maybe it will end up being really good? You never know. They're the less exciting ones. There are more exciting ones. Garchomp and Giratina is a really good card. It's good in Malamar decks, accelerates energy to it, that's kinda cool. It hits decent damage for little energy, and in Expanded you can actually use it for a Karate Belt and a Double Dragon energy. It's proven to be pretty good, and it will probably only get better in the future. But then the three best tag teams are getting gold versions. Pikachu and Zekrom? Yeah, that's been a staple for a long time. That's one of the best decks and has been since Team Up. Beautiful gold version. That's going to be expensive. Reshiram and Charizard has been the best deck pretty much since Unbroken Bonds came out. It was pretty much Pikachu and Zekrom with Team Up, and then it switched to Reshiram and Charizard with Unbroken Bonds. Stuff like Welder really help. This is not going anywhere anytime soon. And of course it's a Charizard card. Charizard cards are always expensive. This is going to be a several $100 card. This, I would imagine, will probably end up being more expensive than Rainbow Rare Reshiram and Charizard. That's my prediction. We'll have to wait and see how it shakes out. But generally these gold cards have ended up being more expensive than the Rainbow Rares. So this should be more expensive than Rainbow Rare Reshiram and Charizard, which is already a very expensive card. And then we've got Mewtwo and Mew, which this weekend won a big tournament over in Japan, and it won a big tournament over in Europe. It is the best deck right now, as of Unified Minds. Yeah. These three gold cards are going to be very, very expensive. And then, just in case that's not enough, we've got a bunch of full art supporters as well. Now, we've actually got a couple tag teams that are going to be coming in Cosmic Eclipse. We've got Misty and Lorelei. Misty and Lorelei lets you search a deck for free water energy, reveal them and put them in your hand. But if you discard 5 cards from your hand, your water Pokemon can use their GX attacks, even if you've already done so. That seems pretty gosh darn good. And then we've got Bellelba and Bryson Man, which is another one of these new ones which we're going to be getting in Cosmic Eclipse, that says that each player discards the top 3 cards of their deck, but if you discard 3 cards from your hand, both players discard bench Pokemon until they have 3 benched Pokemon left. Yeah, that's pretty gosh darn good. But we're also getting a bunch of full art supporters, some of which are on cards we've had for a while. So there is a full art Sightseer. Sightseer's pretty good. It's not seeing as much play as it used to, but it's a pretty decent draw card. Mina's a lot of fun, lets you accelerate extra fairy energy again. Not seeing as much play as it used to, but still a good card. Clay is coming in Cosmic Eclipse, and that's starting to pop up in a whole bunch of decks. Clay lets you discard the top 7 cards of your deck and put all item cards you find into your hand. It's a pretty aggressive supporter. We've got Erica's Hospitality, which lets you draw 1 card for each of your opponent's Pokemon in play, although that only works if you have got 4 or less cards in hand. when you actually play it. Will is a card that isn't actually out here yet, but will be in Cosmic Eclipse, and it basically lets you fix the result of your next coin flip, which is kind of cool. Now, I showed you Blue's strategy the other day, and I told you that he chose Charmander, which is quite good. It's a decent draw card, lets you draw till 8 cards at the end of your turn. It's not seeing a huge amount to play, because it doesn't let you use the cards now, maybe in the future. And I showed you Red's challenge, that lets you discard 2 cards from your hand and then search for any card. And that saw play in Tord Reklev's winning deck in Germany this weekend. And Red chose Bulbasaur. And I said Squirtle wasn't getting any love. Well, good news, ladies and gentlemen. Green chose Squirtle, and not for nothing, but Green's exploration has so far proven to be the best of those 3 cards. If you've got no abilities on your Pokemon in play, you get to search your deck for 2 trainer cards. There is a Reshiram and Charizard deck built around it. It has been an absolute staple in Gardevoir and Sylveon, so suffice to say, you know, it's been better than the other 2. And Green chose Squirtle. I think there's something to that, ladies and gentlemen. We've also got a full art version of Hapu, with very nice card, pretty aggressive draw support, and it's seen a fair bit of play here and there. And Roxy. Now, Roxy isn't actually out here yet, though it will be in the not too distant future. And basically, Roxy discards 2 Pokemon from your hand, and then you draw 3 cards for each Pokemon discarded in this way, which sounds quite nice, but I should remind you about the wheezing we're getting, that if it's discarded from your hand, you put 1 damage counter on each of your opponent's Pokemon. Incidentally, there is a coughing as well, which does exactly the same thing, which is very, very cool. I'm kind of a fan of this, if I'm honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. This sounds like fun. Now, what's super weird is that we're also getting a full art welder. And it's a dude. Why is that weird? Well, we've already had a full art welder, came along in Unbroken Bonds, and it was a female welder. Okay. Can't we have a male and a female welder? Yes, of course we can. Except if you look at European language cards, whereby the language usually attributes a gender to the job, all the welder cards imply it's a female. So if we look at the Spanish welder, shout out to Malcor for the help, Soldadora, and it would be Soldador if it was a male welder. French, incidentally, and a couple of other European languages follow the same pattern. So there are a bunch of European languages out there which heavily imply that welder is in fact a female character. So then going and dropping a male full art welder, it doesn't really matter. But when you look at the European language cards, I think it's a very interesting little nugget. So there we go. And I'm not going to go into a huge amount of analytical detail, but we are also getting a secret rare version of every different kind of energy. Here's water, here's psychic, here's fairy, here's fire, here's fighting, here's lightning, here's metal, here's grass, here's darkness. Now, these special energy cards, by which I mean special basic energy, not actually special energy, that is a thing, they tend to be fairly expensive. But the value really is going to be determined by the typing. Clearly, because welder decks are absolutely everywhere, at the moment, we can assume that it is going to be fire decks, and these fire energy, that are going to end up being really expensive. But if this changes in future, then so will the relative values of the cards. Some of these think the Reshiram and Charizard are guaranteed to be hyper expensive. Some of them a little bit less so. But we should expect most of these to be in Cosmic Eclipse, because they cannot be held over for Sword and Shield. Which means that Cosmic Eclipse is going to be a very big set with lots of secret rares, but it's also going to be a little bit of a money set. Although it's going to be so big, it's going to be hard to pull what you actually want. Hey-ho. I, for one, am a little bit excited about all of this. So I figured we'd best make a video about all of it. Shout out again to Poké Guardian and Primal Lugia for all the help getting the images. It is greatly appreciated. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to know what you think of all of these, and I'd like to know which ones you want to go and pull. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WasiPlays, where we talk about a whole bunch of games that don't even have any Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.